Al Horford. The 35-year-old continues to make his impact these 2022 playoffs. If Boston was to make the finals, Big Al will turn 36 on June 3rd. Given all the years demolished, the Godfather has made his presence felt and changed the hands of time to playing like an all-star this postseason in the middle of a second-round series versus the Bucks, the unsung hero of the Celtics, absolutely even getting the best of the best player in the league, Giannis. Horford did not shine away from the two-time MVP after Giannis scored his 28-point, Bucks up double digits. The animosity and a bit of talking, Horford's like, alright, let's bring it. Outscored Giannis 16-6 to finish the game with 30 points, his postseason high. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Al Horford's importance on the contender simply overlooked for years. Evidently, clear he's been a great teammate, impact on all areas, both ends. It seemed like after signing with the Sixers, looked like a shell of himself. People say he was washed and his contract was going to be tough to swallow. 4 years, 109. Averaged just 12 and 7. Brett Brown used Horford to play D in the perimeter, averaged the brutal 7 and 7, got swept by his former Celtics in the bubble after getting traded to OKC. In the Danny Green deal, the 34-year-old played just 28 games on the tanking team, no aspirations for any type of postseason for a while. His numbers of over 14 points, 6.5 boards, pretty solid, but the team shut him down the final 28 games, wanted to play younger guys, and basically tanked. A healthy Horford collected his money. The team went a disgusting 3-25 the rest of the way. Combined with SGA's injury, OKC ended up drafting Josh Giddey with the 6th pick. Horford, of course, traded afterwards back to Boston in a Kemba Walker deal, looking sharp as the starting center, a 10-8 guy. Drafted 3rd overall in the 2007 draft, making his case as the second best player in the class behind Kevin Durant. Horford versus Marc Gasol, very debatable. The Florida Gator legend started his first 9 seasons with the Hawks, 10-10 rookie guy. His first taste in the postseason actually in Boston against the 66-win powerhouse Celtics, the stars of Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. Horford on a 37-win team as a 21-year-old, immediate impact, arguably the second best player for his team in the series behind Joe Johnson. Had a playoff debut of 20 points, 10 rebounds on 7 of 10 shooting against the Defensive Player of the Year. His Hawks actually took the eventual champs to 7 games. First home playoff game at the ATL, a must-win, dropped 17 big points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, had the established fundamentals, continued his role in Game 6, 16 big points, a 3-point win over the Seas, forcing a Game 7. Given his impact, without rookie Al, the Celtics would have easily gotten swept by the superior Celtic team. His second year had a bad postseason, suffered a right ankle sprain, Game 5, 11 minutes versus Miami, missed Game 6, played Game 7, had to miss Game 2 versus Cleveland, very limited, all double-digit losses to LeBron's Cavs. Horford's playoff kryptonite, simply dealing with LeBron James. In 2010, the first time All-Star led his team to 53 wins, 15 and 20 points the first 2 games versus the 6-seeded Bucks, dropped the next 3 despite having 25 and 11 the 5th game, a 15 and 15 Game 6, followed by a 16-point, 15-rebound Game 7, the most efficient player on his team that series, but got absolutely destroyed by prime Dwight Howard, a 13-point average after a 43-point defeat, the only Hawk to show up in Game 2, Horford 25 and 10, other key players struggled. In 2011, played great team defense to eliminate Orlando in 6, while teammates Josh Smith and Joe Johnson, Jamal Crawford, the 3 main scorers, being the most consistent shooter on his team and a good non-first option. In 2012, missed almost 3 months touring his pectoral muscle, came back Game 4 first round series versus Boston, and a strong Game 5 of 19 and 11, 3 steals, 3 blocks, a game high, made the last 2 buckets for the Hawks despite falling Game 6, scored 11 of his 15 points in the 4th period, going 5 of 6, the rest of his team just 2 of 13. A chance to tie, got down low off an inbounds play but missed the first free throw, falling in the series. The following postseason versus the Pacers, fell in 6, Big Al's averages of under 17 and 9, shot nearly 50%, but backcourts Jeff Teague and Devin Harris 33 and 36% from the field. Horford returned to fully healthy shape, 76 games in 2015 in his prime, led Atlanta to 28 and 2 overall between December and January, 1 of 4 All-Stars, 60 wins, his team not that talented, stepped up huge in Game 5 versus Brooklyn, 20 points, 15 and 5, 2 steals and 2 blocks on 10 of 17 shooting, propelling his team to a 10-point win, followed up with an 18 and 7 closeout Game 6, played well of his best overall series versus the Wizards, all 6 games in double figures, consistent, the best player on the floor. The 5th game, 23 and 11, outscored John Wall and Bradley Beal combined in the 4th, 9 big points the final 10 minutes. 4 big rebounds, team down 9 with under 6 minutes left, 2 free throws, drained a big 3, scored again, followed by a block on Wall despite Paul Pierce's clutch shots after a Dennis Schroeder drive and miss. Big Al at the right place, right time, followed up with a clutch putback with a second left. The game winner absolutely destroyed Marcin Gortat. Wasn't even supposed to be involved in that play, but the hustle contagious. But helpless the next series against LeBron's Cavs, started hot Game 3, 14 points in 19 minutes, but ejected due to the Dellavedova altercation, making him 0-7 versus LeBron in the playoffs, stayed with Atlanta another season, only to get destroyed by James's Cavs again, making Horford 0-11 versus James in 3 playoff meetings, but after taking his talents to Boston, absolutely balled out. First 2 series, averaged 16.7.5 boards, almost 6 assists on 63% shooting, 58 from 3, fantastic chemistry with IT, crashed the glass, gave plenty of second chance opportunities, made the extra pass, a strong defensive lineup with Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder. The whole team had no business making a deep postseason run. But the poise and composure, strong presence inside, schooled the smaller Nikola Mirotic in the Bulls series. Nothing flashy about Horford's game. Although Thomas the leading scorer, Horford was Boston's best all-around player. His underrated abilities to space the floor, pass to the cutters, and knock out open shots allowed Thomas to transform as a full-time bucket getter. Big Al's impact goes way beyond the stat sheet. The creators of opportunities and adds more space, given both Thomas, Avery Bradley, and Crowder had career years on the Horford. If it wasn't for his presence, many believe Thomas would average between 22 to 24 a game instead of 29 during the regular season, and of course way lower efficiency. Horford had a complete first game versus the Wizards, 21 points, 9 boards and 10 assists, 10 of 13 shooting. His ball handling also underrated, the perfect definition of a non-superstar who makes an all-star impact as a team player. Opposing bigs too annoyed to rotate out the perimeter where he made teams pay. Plays hard when everyone's trailing. Horford always comes out of nowhere to get the offensive boards and the putbacks. Can also post up and get big buckets at times. One of the best interior defenders to add to the versatility. Most bigs are always the last one back in transition, but prime Horford always one of the first guys ahead. Although he's not the best at one particular area, Horford's arguably one of the best defending bigs and a top 5 passing center in the game. Put up over 5 dimes in 18 of the postseason games during 2017. 19 points on 8 of 9 shooting Game 5. Gortat too slow. Markieff Morris too small. Made the paint difficult for John Wall to finish. His screen setting also led to many buckets made from Bradley and Thomas. Gets slept on. Teams often fall asleep on the glass where Horford flies in and creates extra possessions, overshadowed by Wall's game winner in Game 6. But it was Horford the play before. Handoff Thomas, pops up, drains the mid-range banker, gave Boston the lead, one of his most forgotten clutch shots, played well in Game 7, of course struggled versus LeBron, but finally won a playoff game versus James in Game 3, falling to 1-15 all-time versus James. Despite blown out Game 4 and 5 after Game 3, this was Horford's reaction post-game.
Huge win. What are the emotions right now?
It's big. It's big. A lot of people doubting us out there. Thought we were finished.
What made the difference tonight?
Heart. We got heart. This team got heart. I know we got beat bad, but, it's all about how you rebound, and we bounce back tonight.
Compare this to Karl Anthony Towns after taking 4 shots in Game 3 versus Memphis.
4 shots for you. Just what did you see out there, and why was it so hard for you to get involved? Do you have to be better with the foul?
The leader on this team, how do you go about just trying to maybe pick guys up or pick the collective mood of the team up?
Go home, drink some wine, move on to the next day.
A big debate with me and my former co-workers back when Horford on the Celtics in 2017 and 18. Would you rather have Horford or Towns on your team? Cat more gifted and talented, but Horford does a bit of everything on both ends. Cat tries to look cool out there, not great on D, poor body language, and the debate was 50-50. But even 2022, no question, teams rather go with Horford in the playoffs given his fit, playing a role, and not being too cute with it. Horford a way better fit on a contender with his all-around game, an excellent supporting player who doesn't need the ball to be effective. While Towns can't seem to figure out how to control his emotions, picked up too many dumb fouls, give me the calmer Horford any day of the week, especially in crunch time. 2018 first round, another excellent series, averaged over 18 and 9 against the up-and-coming Giannis, a team without Kyrie or Gordon Hayward. Horford made his 5th All-Star team, a reason why Boston had one of the best defensive efficiencies in the league. His IQ, greater than 95% of centers, all defensive second team, was cooking Giannis. Important Game 7, Horford tied a postseason career game, 26 points, 13 of 17 shooting, lethal on both ends. Giannis held to 7 of 17 shooting. His experience kicked in, carried the momentum with 26 points in Game 1 versus Philly, gave a super intelligent answer post-game.
What kind of statement do you think this kind of performance makes for your team tonight?
It's just one game. It's a good win, but we know they're going to come back on Thursday and respond, and we have to be ready.
Blew past Embiid to seal Game 2, put the nail in the coffin, played solid D on Joel, destroyed Saric and Ilya Silva when they were guarding him. The genius post-up in OT, scored inside for 2, a clutch play, experienced vet playing on the smaller Covington, combined with the steal. The following possession, absolutely dominant on both ends, the final seconds, excellent hustle, championship caliber material, his knack of reading plays before it happens. The best player on Boston unexpectedly made the conference finals against LeBron. 20 points Game 1, 15 and 10 Game 2, struggled on the road when Tristan Thompson was on him. A solid 15 and 12 Game 5 and played his part Game 7, 17 points on 12 shots. But Rozier and Brown combined for 7 of 32, torched Kevin Love most of the series. Being Boston's best player on the conference finals team, pushing LeBron to the brink, pretty impressive. Had a solid first 4 games the following year against the Bucks, lost in 5. The team's chemistry was ruined when Kyrie played. Rozier and Morris thought too much about themselves wanting to play for their next contracts. A messy 2019 season. Horford opted out the final year of his deal. The team the whole season without truly knowing what's gonna happen with Kyrie, leaving Al stuck undecided. Boston ultimately got a deal landing Kyrie's replacement in Kemba Walker. Given Horford, age 33, didn't see progress from Brown or Tatum, wanted to go elsewhere to pursue the ring, received a 4-year $113 million deal with Philly. Boston didn't match, joined the team rival. Horford also stated if Irving would have stayed, Boston wasn't going to be able to coexist, which he's 100% right. After an awful fit with the Sixers and back to Boston 2.5 years later, the Brooklyn series incredible, monster Game 1, 20 and 15, 6 offensive boards, masterful, help defense on Durant. Ran the floor better than 28-year-old Andre overrated Drummond, watching Horford hustle and get the dunk after Tatum steals the ball. And the absolute travesty, pathetic effort of Drummond doesn't even move. Watch Drummond standing still. That's what separates Big Al from guys who put up empty stats on bad teams. 2022 Al Horford, way better than vet minimum Drummond, punished Brooklyn's lack of size at the right place, right time, tied the game with a minute left in Game 1, fundamentally sound, continued his textbook D on Durant after the threes, and kept Boston alive Game 2, 16 big points, 3 triples in Game 4, dives on the floor for loose balls like he's the youngest guy out there. The best thing to happen for Boston was getting rid of the declining Kemba, inserting Smart as the full-time point guard, getting Horford back while Kemba played 0 games with the tanking Thunder. If the C's still had Kemba instead of Al Horford, Brooklyn would have probably won the series, given Durant would have been a lot better without Horford's defensive presence. The first 4 games were his prime Giannis and the Bucks, 19 and 11, over a steal and a block and a half, knocking down over 53% of his threes, one of the fourth quarter takeovers, 11 of 14 from the field, 5 threes, giving Giannis a taste of his own medicine, perhaps saving Boston's season. Given his continuous postseason success, the teams Al Horford's been a part of made the playoffs 14 times in his 15-year career, only time with OKC in 2021. Whether Horford wins a title or not, he does deserve considerations as a potential future Hall of Famer. 2 national titles at Florida. In the playoffs, give me Al Horford over prime DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gobert, or Karl Anthony Towns any day of the week. Big Al doesn't care about individual stats or looking good, only winning matters to him. Already proven to be the best player on a 60-win Hawks team, the biggest reason why Isaiah Thomas played like an MVP candidate, why the 2018 young Celtics look great without Kyrie and Hayward. A true winner and baller, excels at every single fundamental, whether it's ISO, protecting the rim, switch, pass, dribble, shoot, or post. How about some similarities to an older version of Tim Duncan? Unlike all the other stars, Horford hasn't played with many great players. A few borderline all-stars like the Joe Johnsons, Paul Millsap, while Jeff Teague and Kyle Korver honestly only made the all-star team. Because of Horford and the overall team's impact, Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons for a season. None of his Hawks teammates will be in the Hall of Fame besides possibly Joe Johnson, who's borderline. If Horford's earlier in his career played with a guy as good as 2022 Tatum, there's no doubt he would have made it further in past postseasons. Al Horford, one of those players in 20 years that average fans won't remember much, but the retired players will always bring him up and how he was a nightmare to play against. If Big Al helps Boston win a championship, I can see his jersey being retired by the franchise. Young bigs with dreams of making it to the NBA, who don't have the best athleticism, should absolutely model their games and watch all the things Al Horford does to impact the court. Thank you so much for watching this video. What's your favorite Al Horford moment? Is he one of the most underrated players in the last 10 years? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much again. I love all of you. See you next time.